Hello there, and welcome to Life Clarifications with Natasha. And I am here to help you through life. And I'm grateful for those who watch me. And I know that some of them don't just get right on here, so that's okay. So I just wanted to let you know that I am here for you if you ever need help with life. And, you know, life is going through some many ups and downs. I've heard many people being very moody, going through major things, going through major life changes. And I just want people to know that no matter what is going on, I can be here for you. And there's blessings in this time of us year, but people are going through some major shifts and changes. Well, many of us, I know for me personally, that starting about 4 days before Thanksgiving, I started hitting a slump. And it's not personal. I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me, but, it's been, over 28 years since my dad passed, and over 23 years ago that my mom passed, and most of my family within that time of shortly after that, that I had a lot of family members who I lost within just a short time. So I can really empathize for people who are losing their loved ones right now. And it is different, when, you lose parents, because my parents were in their 50s when they passed away. And so I thought I was going to have a little more time with them, but there's something that told me I didn't. And I know it was me being intuitive that I knew that. Yet there's a lot of us that are going through that grief process because this is the first year that we don't have a loved one, and there's that empty space, or, we're kind of in dilemmas about where to go with what we're doing in life. Many of us have very split families at this time of the year, and it's hard to know, should I get together with someone? Should I not get together with someone? We're just all going through so many things in life, and it's just, what can we do? Should we get a new job? Should we not? Should we manage where we're at? And you find me sometimes fidgeting because my brain is in one place and another. And it's just one thing that just, we all are in this navigation of life. Well, I want you to know that you're not alone during this time. You're definitely not alone. And that's why I was called, and actually the angels last night, I was like going, what should I talk about tomorrow? I didn't know what to talk about today. And I heard the angels say, talk about us. Talk about us. And I'm like going, okay, I'll trust you. I'll talk about you. Because I know that in my stories of life that there's been these times where, magic has hit me. And magic didn't always come in a clear glass bottle that says, oh, I'm here for you, right? Kind of like my tree back here. It just kind of got thrown together, and I had some extra leaves, or not leaves, but some extra stuff, so I just stuffed it in, make it a little thicker. Well, it's kind of like a mismatched tree here. And I just needed a tree in this room, perfectly imperfect as it is. And when you were going through life, blessings come in many different packages. It's not always clear, straightforward life, right? With that I want you to know that this is the time of year where our angels and our family members who are on the other side and are witnessing of what magic can be in life can really be helpful. No one is in the right place at the right time, a lot of times, foreseeing this magic to happen. Believing in it can be helpful. Synchronicity. Oh my gosh, synchronicity. I love synchronicity. Just like the other day, I was walking down the hallway And I was in a place where I'm meant to be there. I'm meant to help. I'm meant to be me. And as I was walking by, I walked by someone head down, just feeling like they had a very long day. You could just read it on them. They had a very long day. And it was a day that I work in an elementary school, and I'm not there full time anymore because of the fact that I want to do my business more, and I can tell that this is sort of the transition. That morning we had news that one of our main people who just took a new position died suddenly of a heart attack. And he was young. He was about my age, young. And when and I just heard that he buried his father just that weekend from a heart attack. Oh, my love goes to that family. But that is a scenario that a lot of us are living through. We're all going through something major right now, and I just felt the calling. Well, they actually told me, talk about us. Talk about us on the other side. Talk about us, the ones that can help you through this season, whatever that season is that you believe in. Happy Hanukkah to those that are doing or navigating that belief system. Merry Christmas to those who are happy Kwanzaa, for those, whatever you're choosing to believe in during this time, that's up to you, even if you don't believe in something. Obviously, I like the magic of the holidays, and so you find me decorating for spring, fall, Christmas, and then after Christmas, guess what I put up? I put up snowmen because it's January. So there's seasons that way. I keep my lights up, by the way, because I hate darkness. But I don't like light lights. I don't like lights coming on over me. I would rather have Christmas lights or white lights, like you always see on this. Well, you'll see it on the other side. This bookcase, you always see Christmas lights, and then up here you actually see lights up through here, just because that's who I am. I love that kind of light because that's what brings me joy. I would suggest right now in your life, whatever you can do, find something that brings you lightness in your world. I know for many that is something like Christmas lights or backlights, like what I have behind Mother Mary there. It's not a forefront light, but bring in lights, because I know that when we're walking through some darkness in our lives, bringing light in can help us. And as I know that walking through what we're walking through, the first beings that I call upon are my angels when I need help, when I'm looking for assistance, when I'm looking for, just like last night, for some reason, there was just a funk over me. Well, looking back, the first news we had was somebody passing in our school district. And he was a key element. He was principals. He was, he's touched a lot of lives and stepped his way up into a reality that he was wanting, that stepping stone of life. But about the time that he reached one of his goals, his body gave out on him. Wow. Isn't that just sad that life does that to us? Well, I had to be honest with a couple of my coworkers who knew who I was, that I actually saw that his life wasn't going to be long, and I really wish I could have talked to him about it. But it wasn't my place, because I could have turned his life around a little bit. I could have said, are you taking care of you? Are you living through your heart chakra? Are you living through joy? Are you, is that Are you being loved the way that you can be loved? And the heart, especially when it's going through family history or bodies that are going through family histories, it does take a lot of work, a lot of, I'm going to call it work, a lot of work to get through it. And I know that without my angels, without my guides, and angels are included in that guide system, without my family, my mom, my dad. Well, I talk to my dad 90% of the time. My mom is 10% of the time. There's just something different about how my dad communicates with me than my mom. Wonderfully, lovingly said that there was just, my dad just, he always, when he was alive, he would walk one foot in this world and one foot in the spirit world, where my mom was a little bit more earthbound, lovingly said. And I love my mom. She is a gift. She is a gift, not was a gift, but is a gift. Yet it's been taking a little bit of navigation for her in spirit to come to me. That's even me being a medium. When we are in these holiday seasons or in the midst of grief feeling, we can talk and ask for help. That's a lot of us have struggle with asking for help. I notice that. It's one of the first things I do, though. I ask for help. Because without having help, how am I supposed to do this world? I can't do it alone. Now, I can ask my angels for help faster than I can ask a friend to help, sadly said. And that's my downfall, and I'm getting better at that. I'm reaching out. I'm reaching out. Yeah, it is part of my makeup that I have, not been very forthcoming in that, due to the fact that I was an only child and lived away from some of my cousins who I was so close with. And yes, I grew up visiting one than the other. And I love you, Kathy, if you're watching, because I wish we lived closer, because I know we would be daily seeing each other. Yet we're not. And now you're going to be moving out of state. Makes me want to weep, but yet that's okay. You have to do what you want to do. And you being closer to your grandkids and your daughter is more important than me, who I can just, video chat with, because we live 2 to 3 hours away from each other. Living life is not easy, but yet we can work together and be together. Calling upon the angels when we can't call upon anybody else. And a lot of people are not vulnerable enough to ask for help. I know for me, being down, that my husband even says, "You seem like you're down tonight." Well, yeah, I am. I'm not really talking, am I? But that's me. That's me. Being an only child, not really having friends growing up, I learned how to be inward. I learned how to navigate with myself and my own emotions. And luckily, I had a parent system that taught me to believe in something greater than me. Believe in something greater than me. And I can tell you that saved me. That saved me, believing in something greater than me. We can't do life alone, nor should we do life alone. When we're in that moment of just, how can I? How can I? Believe that surrendering to that moment can bring us to our greater good. Many a times when I was at a crossroads, I would get to a place where I can just say, I need help. What do I need to do? Where am I supposed to go from here? Where am I supposed to go from here? I need some assistance. well, many times. I'm constantly hearing things, knowing things, talking things. Like I've been checking in with Mother Mary while I've been doing this conversation. I'm checking in with Michael, who's been talking to me during this conversation. So my brain can multitask in my universe here. Many times when I ask for that help, it's quiet. Nothing. I don't know why it's nothing, but it is. Because of the fact that when I surrender. One of my spirit teachers, she taught me that to surrender, it means giving it all. And I knew that, but her using the human words to my knowings brought things to my awareness. I was grateful for her teaching. As we go through life and navigate through life, going to that surrender part of life, do you know how many times I bowed down in front of Mother Mary, butt naked, saying, I give, I give, I give. I'm here surrendering. Please help me. Please help me. And when I did, I was ready and accepting most everything. There is a couple things I had struggled with, and yeah, I'll be fully admitting of that. Surrendering to that moment of that I can do, I can be, I can be. Surrendering to the moment of I accept where I'm at, which is feeling like nowhere's man right now. Nowhere's where. And then going down on my hands and knees and bowing, saying, I'm here in all my glory. Beautifully not, beautifully are. That moment gives the universe a chance, the universe of love for us, a chance to say, okay, now we're able to help. And that's the thing is that I work with the universe of love. Now, some people can say, where are you hearing that information from? Really, until I really check, I know my guide system, my angels, my descendant master, my team, my council, as some people use. I picture like the King Arthur's round table, and everybody sits at a round table because nobody's greater than anybody else. And if I find a part of me that is worthy and wants to be at my round table as part of my council, my team, they can be. Like one time in my life, I was feeling very disorganized. My brain just couldn't focus. I was like, what's going on here? And I did a meditation and went down and found out that I had a schizophrenic past life that was starting to really take over my life because it was calling to be taken care of. And I asked it, can you be empowered and come to my round table? And now I can focus on going from being one place and doing a session in another because of the fact that my multitasking has come forth. Working through and walking through life, if we're able to say, I want, I am in need of, we have each of us a more metaphorical round table. Now, yours could be a bus, somebody else's could be at a fireplace, somebody else's team can be just around them. Because I know one thing, that when I witness somebody, I do not witness them alone. I see beings around them. And those beings are very loving. helping, supporting. Yet we are so much in our mind that we forget to surrender to that knowing. We forget to surrender to that knowing. With that, Mother Mary is one that I go to quite often. So Mother Mary is over my shoulder here. Mother Mary is one that no matter where we're at, she is mother. She doesn't belong to any religious system. Mother Mary is one that she loves to be mother. She loves to give us grace. She doesn't have any judgments. Heck, she knows what life's about. She had to give over her own child because of somebody else's belief system. She was angry in that human form, yes. Yet at the same time, though, she knew what the bigger picture was. You know, sometimes if we even see the bigger picture, we can still be angry about it and keep moving forward. And she shows that to us. The sad, the grief, the ache, the troubles, all those things that life is going forward with. Mother Mary loves. She loves without judgment. And you see the aura around her? Yes, that's a light that's behind her. Yes, I'd be honest about that. But that's how she glows. That's why I had to honor her with that light, because that's how she glows. Now, there's been a couple times where Mother Mary helped me. Well, I can't say a couple. Mother, I'm sorry about that. She has helped me zillions of times. Zillions of times. I know that when I was at the end of my husband drinking that last 2 to 3 years, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have slept. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have seen the bigger picture. If it wasn't for her, my husband wouldn't have gotten sober. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have trusted my husband becoming sober. And when we're going through life and being in that moment, that wisdom comes from those who trust and surrender to that moment of vulnerability, of not being well. I know that she gives grace. I know for one thing that there's been times where she would come up and give me a hug, and her love healed me. There's one time I was standing at the top of the stairs, and it was after one of my spiritual moments that I would get together with a group. And one of my friends was able to channel her. And my vertigo was so bad that all of a sudden I was at the top of some stairs, and there was a vortex in the middle of the stairs, and I felt that. And usually I had no problems going up and down the stairs because I would know how to navigate that. But in the vertigo moment that I was in, I didn't even know if I could step off the first step. And it wasn't like fear took over me, but fear was with me. That unstableness fear. Okay, if I take a step, am I going to land at the bottom face first type of fear? And as we go through life, and as we're navigating through this life process, it's been an interesting moment when my friend who channels Mother Mary came up with her and hugged me. And I can just feel that angst and even my vertigo just wash down to a neutrality. Not away, but to a neutrality. And that's what Mother does. And if we believe in her, she can be there. Another time is that my husband and I were fighting in one of his moments, and me and one of mine, to be honest, because it's both sides of the story. Even though he was the one drinking, I still had the interaction with him, and it just clashes happen. I was laying in bed, and all of a sudden, I know I've talked about this before, she started rubbing my face. About the third stroke, I was asleep. And it was one of the best sleeps I've had. We can have help. It's trusting that process. And if you need a mother, I'm going to tell you, that woman right there, in any form, she's there. And you'll know her because all you feel is love. Now, she sometimes has a scent of roses. And I know some of our parents or grandparents used rose for her what you want to call it, their perfume. But so did Mother Mary. So Veronica, thank you. So I will ask Mother to be with me tomorrow as my appointment with my boss. I will also clap and say, I trust, and I believe. I know the outcome will be very positive. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. What a gift. What a gift. What an amazing gift for you. I'm also going to invite you to talk about Archangel Gabriel. So that angel will come later, coming up. So the next one I would love to, I know Michael. Can you wait? Yeah, he can wait. Okay, so Michael wanted to come up. Archangel Michael. He's always part of the game. Jesus is one who I would love to talk about. Jesus is someone who people believe the story that was written for him in the Bible. Yet, knowing Mother Mary as I do and witnessing some people who have channeled her and me channeling her myself, that Jesus and working with Jesus myself, kindness, grace, and wisdom is that being. There again, I'm going to say this many a times. None of who I talk about are judgmental or religious based. They're all love based. Which actually, if you really take the full meaning of what every religion has, it's about love. It's us humans that get in the politics. Jesus is one who mothered, the wise men. Well, about the age of 14, Jesus went off with them so he can learn about the healing herbs, about the healingness of the ability to think, to become his alchemist is the word I want to use, so that he can become his alchemist. Because he knew he was going to have to go through many lifetimes in his one. He was going to have to go through many lifetimes in his one. I'm going to let that sink in for a minute. He had to go through many lifetimes in his one. So he had a lot of ailments. Kidneys, liver, digestive problems, just there was a lot that his body, at the vibration he was at, couldn't hold up to a lot that was going on with him. And so when he went away and Mother Mary had to again give over her child and trust, that's why she knows about this trust factor thing. That he became his alchemist. That's why he could change water into wine. That's why he can navigate through the waters that he did with the beings and the people and the belief systems of those times. He was able to be the perspective to give grace when grace needed to be given. I know for me, when I've walked with Jesus, and I do many a times, that I call upon him when there's disruption in the house. When there's disruption in the house of any time, because love. If I have a spirit that's having a lot more troubles going over than Azrael and Samedi Baron can do, I call upon Jesus to bring in some help. There's something about the way Jesus just kind of makes you go, judgment is not part of their story. Control is not about their story. They love to support. Now, another angel, yes, Michael, I know you're here, is Archangel Michael. Now, I can tell you that 90% of these people in our world work with Archangel. Well, he says 100. Okay, so 100% of the people work with Archangel Michael. Yet at the same time, how does he become one with all? It's called spirit. It's called spirit. And angels are energy. They are energy. And energy, like our phone wires, like when we call somebody, any of that, that's how they are. They are energy. And that energy can be anywhere and everywhere. Isn't that miraculous? Anywhere and everywhere. And as we trust that process, now Archangel Michael helps us go through the fire of life. He helps us be who we are. He brings in a lot of character too. Now, I'm going to say that a lot of people think that these angels are in their white robes with a halo and wings, or we see them with armor. And I should have brought picture, or I should have brought my statue of Archangel Michael in. They're always part of that process of armor or protection or the fiery sword. I can tell you, have you ever seen the movie Michael with John Travolta? That's Archangel Michael. He loves beer. He loves cowboy boots. He can actually sometimes become part of the human race, but yet he can't stay very long because our bodies hold a different vibration. And Archangel Michael there's different angels that are on different vibrations. Okay. So I'm going to tell you, it's usually the fairies are more earthbound. Then we have the human angels that are kind of in between. And then we have the angels and the archangels. Now, Archangel Michael, he's more earthbound. He's able to sit more in your car with you, driving, than he is about being up in space. Yes, I had to check in because he can go to space. But if you're talking about Metatron has a very hard time coming even down into our atmosphere. But he comes down and he pops back up because his vibration is more celestial. So Archangel Michael, if you don't get moving sometimes, he'll come up and metaphorically kick you. Well, yeah, he really kicks you in the butt with his cowboy boots or pokes you with his sword. It's more out of fun to say, get moving. So if you're all of a sudden feeling like you are, you're you can't sit still. That's either your muses that are helping you or Archangel Michael's poking you to get moving. And he's hilarious. He's hilarious. Sitting in his Bermuda shorts, and I know I use this story all the time, Bermuda shorts, drinking a wine with his cowboy boots and his white t-shirt on, going, oh, okay, I guess, yes, I'll help you again, and I'll help you again. And it's so funny how, Veronica, thank you for chiming in. So I wish he'd kick me in the butt sometimes. Actually, I wouldn't, but I can tell you that he does. That's why you got your spiritual room done, because he was helping you with that. And Mother Mary was helping you shop. So with that's how they've helped you out, Veronica. And he stands sometimes, and I mean this with love, between you and your husband, so that you guys can find more grace together. So Veronica says, oh, cool. Going through life and managing life, part of that dance is believing that we do have help. Now, another angel that helps out, because Archangel Michael is the one that he'll give you his sword, his armor, if you're going into a really bad place. He'll put on armor for you. He'll give you his sword and say, you go get your own boundaries, lady, or a fella, or whoever you are. You loving being that you are. He says, I'll give you the sword so you can create boundaries. And I'll stand behind you when you need empowerment. And I know that I have had him stand with me when I had to have boundaries and say, this does not work for me right now. Because that's not part of my nature. So I've asked for him to help. So that's Archangel Michael in a just a small little box, because he's actually a big box. He's a great manifester with us. He's great at helping us move forward. He's great at helping clean out our houses. He's great at job movement. That he's very much into that being of support. He's almost like the one that puts us on the treadmill and doesn't necessarily push the button faster or not, but he's actually one that gets us on the treadmill and gets us moving in our lives. So look for inspiration with him. Now, another angel that I love to work with is Raphael. And I'm just going to hit some highlight ones. Archangel Raphael is one that he works with the angels of healing. So if you're looking to do, like the other day, I was doing some Reiki with some people, and I asked for Raphael to strengthen my power so that I can do it, because I was doing it long distance. I was asking for him to be the grace between us. And he's saying, you got it, girl. That's what Archangel Michael is saying to Veronica. You got it, girl. You got it. Being where you're at, Raphael can help do some healing. Managing that energy of support, being with you. So a lot of the Reiki masters, massage therapists, nurses, doctors, people who are working in nursing homes work with Raphael a lot. Well, they work with a lot of other angels too, but because I can see Azrael's there, and I can see Joseph is there, and I can see a lot of different angels that are working in the convalescent centers, because that's a big transition area for a lot of people. That Raphael helps you with healing. So if you're aching, ask him to come and do some Reiki on you. Ask him to work with you. If you're going in for surgery or going into some struggles, ask for him to help you out, and he will. So with that moving on, because time's getting short here, that we have Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel. Now, Archangel Gabriel is both male and female. So the other year was about 2-3 years ago when we had a bunch of people honoring their soul selves and becoming transgender or binary or he, she, which is binary. Whatever words you want to put with it. But found their voice to be them. Gay, uh, anything. I apologize for not using the right words here. That as people have gone forward in finding their soul selves, that was actually the year that Gabriel was kind of the charge of that year. So I love Gabriel because Gabriel, whatever mode of operation, female or male, is always there to help us become more peaceful with ourselves, more graceful with ourselves, more in tune with ourselves. He, she also is a gift with communication. And as we go through life and manage our life, that the process of knowing who to call in isn't about right or wrong. You can just call in an angel. I need help with communication. And the angel for you will come in. If you're asking for help with your marriage, the angels will come in and help you. But I know that, like, when I do job interviews or having to do a speaking entertainment or that kind of thing, I will interact with Gabrielle. Now, doing my show here, I interact with my whole team. So I don't necessarily work with one angel or not. But when I'm in that mode of wanting clarity to come in, that's when I do interact with Gabrielle. Because of the fact that the one who sends messages. He was also the angel that came to Mother Mary and said that you're going to have Jesus, and this is the story of Jesus. So the messenger, Gabriel's the messenger. So if you're looking for help with messaging or communication, call upon him to help you out, because he will. So Veronica, for your thing tomorrow, like you were saying, call in the angels of communication to help you. And the angels of secure trusting in yourself. There's an angels pretty much for anything. So you know that if you have a prayer, there's an angel for your prayer. Do you really realize how many angels there are out there? So a lot of times, all we have to do is ask, and they're there. Good job, Veronica. Thank you for trusting that. Being who we are. So she said, I will. Being who you are. Life is hard enough. So ask for help. Now we have Ariel and Uriel, and there's many more angels. But I'm going to go to one because we're getting short on time here. Is Azrael and Chamarel. Azrael and Chamarel. They help us through the grief process, through the big moments of our lives. Chamarel helps us through our big moments. Now, Azrael is about the time. He's the timekeeper. Beautiful. All the angels are magnificently beautiful. That when we're working through, and Gabrielle's about emotions too. So if you're needing some help with emotions, which, think about it when we're doing job interviews, how many emotions, we're talking with our bosses, how many emotions do we have? Well, Gabrielle's a great one for that. And I know for me in my marriage, kind of squirreling here, sorry, that many times there's an angel of marriage, which is Daniel, that I would have Daniel stand with me and Gabriel stand with my husband so that we would so I would have Daniel talking in my ear to help me with my scenario so that I can see my husband's perspective. And I was asking Gabrielle to help my husband communicate, because that's been his struggle, was communication, because of him being a double Libra himself. What he's learned about life is it's kind of about him. Talk about being an only child. That's probably why he married an only child, so that there's somebody who can mirror him pretty good. We had this discussion the other day. He says, "Yeah, Natasha, you are a mirror for people. You bring out the mirror. You bring out the good. You bring out the shoot, I gotta look at that, don't I?" People don't always want to do that, but he's being that mirror helps. But I asked for Gabrielle to help my husband communicate with more grace, more ability, more emotions. My husband was full of emotions. I was full of emotions. So Daniel would help with me. So having an angel on either side doesn't make it me right, nor it doesn't make my husband right, but it helps us to come to some grace, But Azrael helps through this grief process. Now, I know for me, going through, as I said in the beginning of the show, that I was kind of getting into funk. This is my funky time, because of the fact that it's about the grief process. It's about the process of being where we're at, and not being able to be with who we want to be with, and missing those that are around us. There's times I wish that I could be a kid again and having a walk with my dad, but I can't, because he's not here anymore. But that means that I can have a conversation with him just by being with him. And I know that a lot of us can't hear our family members because you don't hear like I do. But I can tell you, when you feel that brush of love all of a sudden around you, Veronica, I bet you feel that too with your sister, because she does that. There's this brush of love that comes by, and it's like a breath. It blows by you, and it feels loving. But that's usually your family member saying something. Believing in the help, believing that you're not alone, can help you, because Azrael can help you through the struggles of the death process, the time process, the emotions of life process. Believing. So please believe. Please believe. We do have help. We do have these emotions that are helping us. There's angels. If you're lost something, ask for help. Ask the fairies and the angels to help you find what you lost. And then wait patiently while you're looking. Wait patiently while you're looking. That's kind of an oxymoron, isn't it? Because being patiently waiting to find it, but then you're just kind of like going, I wonder if it's underneath that couch. I wonder if it's underneath there. That's okay, because you're patiently waiting instead of going, oh, I can't find it. Where am I? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Ask the angels and the fairies for help. Ask your guides. If you are wanting to write something to someone and you just have no information about it, go through and ask the muses, can you help me write? Can you help me write? Now, there's sometimes where I struggle with my newsletter that I produce, because writing is not my first go-to. So what do? I say, okay, guys, it's going to be like, it's December now, so I got to start the process, because it takes me about 2 weeks just to get it out finally. I need help with writing it. I'm asking angels, muses, guides, I'm going to want to start the process of this. Have something in my life trigger me so I can write. And I can tell you, probably within the next 2-4 days, there's going to be something that I can probably write about. Believing that we can. Believing that we have help. There's always something around us. someone around us that is greater. Now, the thing to do is ask. I'm asking for the greater love of whoever can help, loving being around me. Please guide me and help me. Angels of love, please come, and I surrender to the greater good so that you can move me to where I'm supposed to be. And that's the trick, is knowing to surrender to the greater good of what could be. And Veronica and I had, if I could say this, a little bit of a conversation before my show here. And I'm going to tell you, Veronica, because I didn't get a chance really to say this, and it's just hit me to say this now. I'm proud of you because you surrendered to the greater good through this process of what you're going through. This too will work out to your greater good. You may not get what you want, but it's going to come out to your greater good. And believe that, because you do have hope. And I'm proud of you for going through the moment of, instead of reacting to it first thing and being that you wanted to talk to someone in angst and anger, now you're going to be able to talk to somebody in, I want clarification. Good job. Okay, so with that, if there's any questions about who to call in, and basically it doesn't matter if you call in Mother Mary, Jesus, there's no wrong you can do. Angels of love, come and help me. I need my car to work better. Angels of mechanics, help me. Angels of communication, help me. Being where you're at, going forward in where you're at, love can be there. It's trusting the process. Because I know for me, when I've gone through hard times and good times, I've witnessed the angels being my synchronicity and my hug. May love and peace be with you with that. So now, let's see, I'm at 53. Those that are watching, would you like a card reading? It'll be about 10-15 minutes. So please put up what you would like to have. Would you like angels? There's the map cards. There's also the fairy cards. I will even jump into these fairy cards. These are the ones that look like this. It's a little bit of reading, so I would go through that. And there's also the Wisdom of Oracle cards, Wisdom of Avalon cards. So whoever would like, whoever would like those. So the new cards, the new fairy cards. Is that the one, Veronica, you were saying? The new cards. So I'm guessing that, so Denise, the angels. Okay. So Veronica, I'm going to do the angel cards for Denise while you're telling me which, can you add on fairy or because these are also newer cards to me. So the fairy card, or angel cards, angel. These are Doreen Virtue's angel cards. Okay, so Denise, thank you for chiming in, and thank you for being here, Denise. I know you kind of sit back and talk about one who works with Jesus. It is that woman. She does amazing job with Jesus. So good job working with Jesus, Denise. So angels. So think about, Denise, what is the thing that you are? Oh, thank you. I know I always have permission with you, Denise, and my love is with you. You're remember, you can always call me. Okay, we can talk. Okay, my dear, I know you're going through some struggles right now, and my love is with you, and so are the angels. Okay. Who wants to come out? Who wants to come out for Denise? Okay, so this one here. Archangel Michael. I told you he's around. I am with you, giving you courage to make life changes that will help you work on your divine purpose. I am with you, giving you courage to make life changes that will help you work on your divine life purpose. Now, it was upside down, which means that there has been some struggles with that navigation. And I'm feeling like it's been that courage part of it. Because I have an understanding of what you're working through, and it's hard to be that in between. So believe that no matter what you're saying, Denise, when it's meant with love, with the intention of love and to clarify, that even if the other person does not receive it the way that you would hope, it was given with that care and that love. Okay, so there's another card in here for you, Denise, that I'm going to give here. Serena. So Serena is the angel of abundance. You will receive money that you need, and God is in charge of how that will happen. Have faith. Have faith. So Denise, blessings to you, because I feel like that there's a breath coming to you right after the new year. So please know that walking through what you're going through now, that you're going to have something's going to change for you after the new year. So believe with that. Okay, and then I heard this one, Isabel. Okay, so there was the three, Isabella. So yes, the timing is right for this new adventure. A happy outcome follows your positive expectations. So with that, believe. And I feel like this is dealing with home more than work. Feeling like this is home more than work. So there's your three cards, Denise. I'm not going to pull three cards for everybody, but so it was Archangel Michael. And yes, he looks like this. Yes, he looks like that. Yet at the same time, picture him with cowboy boots on and drinking a beer. Archangel Michael. And Serena and Isabella. So if you can, remember that trust process. Denise. You'll get there. Okay. So that was the angels for Denise. And let's see. Denise says, right on. Thank you. And then thank you. And then she was feeling that too about the new year. Yes. And then validation for what I'm feeling. Awesome. Yes. Good job. Breathing can help. Okay. So the fairy deck for Veronica. Yes. The fairies. Okay. So the fairies. Oh, I love fairies. Yes, they're mischievous. Yes, they're troublesome sometimes, but the fairies. Woo! Okay. Well, these two wanted to almost jump out. Okay. So first was number 14, which is I can't read that because of the way the signature is. So I will read a quick version of this, okay? And the next one is 34. Civilis, I think is what it says, but look at that. Isn't that magnificent? The Fairy Kingdom. I love these cards because they just are so much. And this deck is the Fairy Oracle by Brian Fowd, and I'm learning this deck a lot better than I did. So 14. So 14 So, auspicious beginnings, birth, growth, joy, and hope is the theme of this wonderful little girl. If you look at her, my lights here. Look at the little bit, it's just the innocence and the joy. The innocence and the joy. So the starter reading. The Medane signifies new beginnings and growth. You couldn't ask for a more auspicious card than this if you are beginning something new. Spontaneity, joy, growth, exhilaration, and promise for a future are significantly here. We must note that in the early stages of any process, there is vulnerability and a need for protection, shelter, and guidance. But there is also magical impetus toward growth. Trust the process, but take care in the details as well, like we were talking about. The maiden also is an inner child who needs to be under the supervision of the inner child, of the inner adult. Order for her to feel secure and loved. She may not be happy when we spoil her. Consider what is growing in your life. Make a list of your hopes, dreams, and plans. Look for growth within, and think about how you can cherish and nurture that. Bless the growth you will see around you. Ooh, that's good, isn't it? Okay, so now we got 34, this one. So something new coming in. Well, that adventure we were just talking about not too long ago, that can lead to some new adventures, if you believe, without expectations. That's the tricky part. So 34. So 33, 34. So this card here is about truth, cutting through deception for clarity. Boy, isn't this right on? Truth cutting through deception for clarity. I guess that's the sword, isn't it? Cutting through the truth. And look at the mask of here. That's not quite on the face. And then there's the light. Cutting through. Okay. So, starter reading. At this time, you are discovering new truths about yourself. They are essential to you to know in order to create relationships based on mutual respect, affection, and trust. These things can only work if we see ourselves and others as we are. Currently, both fairy and this world are functioning as a greater mirror in which we see ourselves in many surprising ways. People tend to dread this because we assume that we are worse than we think we are. But this is far from necessarily true. Now is the time for finding out false and misleading beliefs you have accepted and discovered that you are a better person than you thought and have the potential to accomplish more than you believe you could. If someone says you are better or simply different than you think you are, don't actually reject this. Think it over carefully. You have more to give, more to enjoy than you have been giving yourself credit for. Boy, isn't that a statement? Because I know that many of us right now are getting triggered by other people's concepts of ourselves. Which, are they true? Are they true? Not really. Not really. So Veronica says, wonderful. That was right on. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You are more than welcome. I want everyone to know that you are blessed. Please ask for help. It doesn't mean that you're weak. if you ask for your team, your energy of love, your belief system, whatever it is in the greater good of love, ask for help and then surrender and witness the synchronicities that come into your life, because of the fact that you never know what can happen. I'll give you an example. I sat on my bed one day screaming at my team, saying, I can't split up my family. I cannot do this. That I cannot live with this alcoholic man anymore. I know you know this. And then I kept walking forward. I kept picturing, do I need to move somewhere else? Do I need to apply? Whenever my husband would talk to me, in my being, I would say to myself, you cannot no longer talk to me this way. So I was doing the interactions, believing that I could do and be. Well, almost 3 weeks to the day, my husband got pulled over by 2 police officers for drinking and driving. The gift of this is that there's some other synchronicities that came together, and I kind of talked about them on Monday with Regan, that there was this moment of surrender, knowing that he could change his world. In that moment was the first time he was videotaped and watched himself be drunk. That was a huge eye-opener. And then we were just talking about this when we went out to dinner the other night, because I was talking about that Regan and I had a conversation about how synchronicity comes in. And he says, you know what, that day when you were at the dentist and I was walked home from the police station, because we live in a small town, so it was not even a mile away. And he was walking around outside and he looked up and he said that he felt divine love coming to him, and he no longer wanted to drink. He no longer wanted to drink. Miraculous. But I know that I witnessed it. I witnessed a new man walking forward. The way he talked, the way he interacted, the way, yes, he had dry drunks. Yes, he had scenarios coming forth, but yet at the same time, he didn't have that need for drink. He had emotions. He had to struggle learning to be sober, but he didn't. Me surrendering on that bed that day, I knew set up this moment. Now, I would tell you, though, that with that miracle that happened, that I ended up calling it a walking miracle, for the fact that it's staying a miracle, because my husband and I are both trying hard to stay together. We're communicating, even though it's complicated sometimes. And we're always reaching for the greater good. So it keeps that miracle that happened that day when he got pulled over, the worst, best day of my life, to become my walking miracle 9 years later. Blessings can happen if you believe. If you believe. I'm Natasha Venter, medium, intuitive personal awareness coach. If you're needing any help, please make an appointment with me at angelicclarifications.com. I'm also right now having a special through the end of October 2000, or no, cancel, clear, delete that, through the end of January of 2022, to help us walk through this grief and go through this moment. Blessings to you. Please make an appointment at angelicclarifications.com. My love is with you. Please like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you so choose. And watch for us on Mondays and Wednesdays at 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Blessings. This is Natasha Venter. Bye now. Have a great week. Oh, and enjoy the the ability for the new moon with an eclipse with the sun. It was a solar eclipse. Love you. Bye.